All right, so I'm about to try a new style that I did the other day, and it came out super, super cute, but I didn't use a foam. And in this video, I'm going to be using two different curl foams to see which one works the best. Now, my favorite personal hair foam is this braiding foam, but I didn't have any, so we're going to go with what I had. So before we get started, as you can see, I'm using our Metamorphosis pomade, and I'm focusing that on the root specifically. You can see I put it on the front of my hair, on the back of the hair, because that's where you typically brush the most. So it's great to make sure you have some product there. Also massaging it into the scalp. I want to do a middle part, so I'm just moving that out the way. My hair is blow dried, by the way. So this one is Nairobi, and then this one is Lotta Body. One side I'll be doing Nairobi, one side I'll be doing Lotta Body. Woo, Chile, I'm going to tell you, one side came out looking crazy, but you'll see. So right now I'm finger parting. Like I said before, you'll notice I don't really use combs. It's just like a personal preference, but I know that a lot of people do use combs, but I'm more of a brush kind of person unless I'm parting. So I'm going in with the Metamorphosis oil now, focusing that on the ends and the roots. And every part of my hair really, but you always want to make sure that you get those ends because they are the oldest part of your hair. And if you're doing someone else's hair, you really want to make sure that you get the ends because it takes a little bit more for your natural oils to get all the way down to the ends. So it's great to like concentrate the majority of your oil down there. And now I'm combing it through with the brush just to make sure that every strand gets some. And I am scratching my scalp with it to promote blood circulation and to make sure that my hair is all the way detangled. And it just feels good when you get up against your scalp. I'm going to be honest. It also feels really good. So now I am about to go in with the foam. This is once again Lotta Body. And doing a couple of pumps. And then I'm just going to rub that in my hair. You can see working it all the way up. And, you don't have to like brush it back in, but I like to just make sure that all of my hair gets it. I added a little bit more because it didn't really feel like, as you can see, like it's not really wet. So I wanted to make sure that all my pieces of hair got saturated. And now I'm going to twist my hair in a spiral, and then after the spiral I'm gonna wrap the hair around itself, kind of like a Bantu knot really, and just do it again and again and again and again and again, just to really twist that up. And I'm doing it all the way to the ends because what can happen sometimes is like when you do this kind of hairstyle or like a curl when you're coming from a more straighter look, if your ends aren't curly, they can end up making the whole look kind of messed up, and that just irritates me. So now I'm about to do the same exact thing on the other side, starting once again by finger parting out my hair on the other side, putting it up in a hair tie, and then going. One thing you'll learn though as you're doing natural hair and just hair in general is sometimes the way you think a style is going to look, it doesn't actually turn out that way. So it's all about practice. Practice makes perfect. And that's why it's also good to try different products because while our products work on like everybody's hair texture and things, not all products work on every style. Like you're going to see what happens. And you can also learn, what size you should part your hair and just different things like that. As you grow and evolve, you'll learn more about what you should and shouldn't do with your hair or with your child's hair. So now I'm going in with the Nairobi. I already thought, okay, this one's going to be a little bit better from Jump Street because it made my hair wet. So you can see the difference with how the foam is interacting with my hair with the Nairobi, and I only did a few pumps and it got my hair to a point where it looks wet versus dry with a little bit of product on the top and bottom. And a technique that I like a little bit more is wrapping the hair mostly like as an individual twisting and then twisting it around the hair. The curl tends to be a bit more cohesive. However, that's just a technique that I've learned, and it just, to me, makes it look a little bit better. So keep that in mind. So now I got my 2 ones done. It is the next day, child. Here we go. Here goes nothing. We finna see how the hair turned out. And if you notice, I actually flip my bonnet inside out. I'll make another video about why I did that. But before we do anything with the hair, you always want to make sure that you go in with the Metamorphosis oil on your hands to increase slippage and minimize what you're going to end up doing with the hair. Because if your hands are not slippery and they are dry, it can cause you to break the hair, especially when you have like foam in it. As I'm pulling this out, I'm already noticing something weird because the bottom felt like a dread. It was so dry that it felt like I couldn't even separate the curl properly. So that's why you see me kind of like finicking with it. I was just, as soon as I touched it, I was like, oh, this is not what I wanted. This is not, and look at how, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it's because of the way that I bantued it up or what, but even like you can see the curl did not hold towards the ends. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And you can see like it's poofy in certain areas and stringy in others. And it's really just not giving the waves or the coils that I was looking for, to be quite frank. And the bottoms were so dry that it felt like I couldn't separate the curls properly or I would break some of my hair off. So regardless of if it was the way I knotted it up, the Bantu knot or not, the texture of the hair, I just was not a fan of with the Lotta body. I'm just going to be honest. So this one, the Nairobi, when I pulled it out, I was like, okay, this looks better. And even when I first added it onto my hair, I realized, okay, this is probably going to be a better option. And as I'm taking it out, neither one of them really came out the way I wanted, to be quite honest. And look at that. But as I comb it out, you'll see what ended up happening towards the end. But they both kind of look crazy, at least this way. And I was like, dang, I did all that and what? And that's what happens when you're doing hair. Like, especially if you're trying new styles and doing different things, it can end up working out and it can end up not. But what you have to remember is that before you separate the curls, your hair is going to look much different. So here's how it looks later. So something I would do differently next time is have larger sections, because even with the side that I don't really like, the back still turned out nicely. So I think the key is having bigger sections, but this side just held. Like, I would be okay if my whole hair looked like this, but this side looking like this, it's just not giving. And it feels kind of like my hair feels really hard versus this side. It's a little bit more body. So if I had to recommend and it's softer. So if I had to recommend a foam, it would definitely be the one I use on this side, because it looks much better cohesively. So the winner is the Nairobi foam hold. Please be sure to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. For anyone who has questions, please leave that in the comments. We're always answering questions. And if you're looking for a hair product that works seamlessly with all curly heads in the household, then please check out our Metamorphosis line. We have a pomade and an oil currently, and they're just amazing. You can try them for as little as $5. Stay tuned.